Howdy do, y'all. This is John, and today we are talking about Bad Boys Ride or Die, a new movie out in theaters right now. And in Bad Boys Ride or Die, it deals with these two police officers, played by Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, who have to prove not only their captain's innocence, but also their own innocence after everyone was falsely accused of aiding and abetting the drug cartel. Their captain, who's been dead for a few years and cannot properly defend himself, and also themselves. Okay, so getting into it, I've never been a big Bad Boys fan. This movie does not change my thoughts on the franchise, but we'll say this: if you are a Bad Boys fan, you'll probably enjoy this movie. If you're more like me, well, this movie ain't gonna turn you. But I will say this, though, it at least has some fun elements to it. I'm gonna start with what I liked about the movie. And honestly, I think that the performances are all fine in the film. Personally, I think Martin Lawrence was the best in the movie. He had the best humor out of all of the characters. And whenever something funny actually happened, it usually had something to do with Martin Lawrence. Will Smith, he does a fine job, but he's just not as funny as Martin Lawrence in this film. But then again, Will's kind of lost his sense of humor. That's all I'm going to say about that. And the action sequences are very well executed. I'm not going to lie, when crap hit the fan and there was a firefight, a gunfight, like that was nice. They were well done. The directors of this movie, I don't know their names, but they had like this very hip hop editing style to everything that I think actually worked well for the action sequences. I don't know what the editing style is actually called, but I like calling it hip hop because it kind of feels like hip hop. And there are also some other elements about this movie that I liked, like, the two lead characters, they're not like depicted as terrible people or anything like that because they're cops or something stupid that's similar. Like Lawrence's character in particular, he's a father and he's a husband, and when he's with his family, you can tell he loves his family. It can be tough, a little bit of tough love occasionally, but he loves his family and he cares about his family. Stuff like that make these two characters come across as good people and stuff, like stereotypical cops or something like that. But when it comes to the story, oh boy. The story of the movie, it's a run of the mill corrupt cop story. I'm serious. They find out there's a mole in the police district that they work in, or the precinct or something like that, and they need to go find the mole. But oh hey, now they're being framed for a crime they did not commit. It's just typical cliche, been there, done that kind of corrupt cop storyline. And what doesn't help is they really don't do anything new with it. Instead of trying to find like a different path to take on certain things, they only ever do things that had been done before and done better. There's also this moment where they're just like, we gotta go hide out here, and the whole hideout sequence just adds nothing to the overall story. It could have just been cut out. Also, the villains of this movie, they're just terrible. I will give the movie brownie points for this. Instead of using just this overused thing with a corrupt businessman being the head honcho of everything, instead they go with a politician, which, you know, politicians are way worse than any businessman. Just saying. But other than that, the villains are just laughable. There's this one corrupt soldier that you don't know anything about. You don't know his personality. and you don't get any sense of real danger with him. Whenever he does something, you're just sitting there going, oh, well, Smith and Lawrence will take care of him. And also, like, the only thing truly entertaining about everything that's going on in this film is really the action sequences. The humor mostly comes across as just bad, except for some funny moments with Martin Lawrence. But other than these funny moments with Martin Lawrence, they're just bad. None of the jokes get a chuckle out of you or a laugh or anything like that. So guys, at the end of the day, Bad Boys Ride or Die, it's kind of one of those bad but fun movies. It's fun because the action sequences are all just really good, and of course Martin Lawrence. But other than that, like, there's nothing else in this movie that keeps you engaged. If you're a diehard Bad Boys fan, you'll probably enjoy this movie. If you're more like me and just never cared about it, you're just not going to care about this. I am going to give Bad Boys Ride or Die a 4. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember to protect ski well.